Hello people, I've been requested to lend my voice to a tutorial video and mod review for the self-building Outposts mod for Minecraft 1.12.2. Before we dive into the Outposts portion of the mod, let's briefly cover the crafting recipes that the mod adds. The mod adds 8 craftable blocks and 2 smeltable ores, shown here. The craftable blocks are divided into 2 categories, with each category containing 4 blocks. The bottom category are called crates, the top are called parcels. Each crate is crafted out of 9 of the appropriate material. So you have the log crates, you have stone crates, sandstone, and clay. The parcels are crafted from 9 crates. Like so. Moving on to the ores, you have tin ore, which is smelted into, obviously, a tin ingot, and copper ore, which is smelted into a copper ingot. Unfortunately, at the moment, the ores are basically useless. So the ingots aren't craftable into a metal block. The mod doesn't have any use for the ingots at the moment, and they aren't registered with the Forge Ore Dictionary. So what that means is, if you have this as part of a mod pack, and one of the other mods that you're running has recipes that use copper and tin, this mod's copper and tin can't be used for that crafting recipe from the other mod, because Forge doesn't recognize this mod's copper and tin as copper and tin. So that evidently will be fixed at some point in the future. But it hasn't been done yet, so that's that. Moving on to the Outposts portion of the mod, let's grab some needed supplies for what we're going to be doing. And I've already done a large part of the work in finding a usable building thing. This structure here spawns rarely in plains and savanna biomes. And what you do is right-click on it twice with wood parcels in your inventory, and then right-click on it again. And it creates this little wooden structure here. It also creates these. They're basically, they're called build pads, evidently. And what they do is you click on them, and you select, say, a quarry. And you click on it once for each thing you deposit, and then you right-click on it again. In survival mode, you need to be careful, because it will drop you into the pit. It's not a far drop, but it's still not pleasant. So, yeah. I'm only going to be demonstrating 3 of the buildings right now, because there are only 3 build pads. But, so this is the tree grove, this is the quarry, and this over here is the mine. So really quickly, let's demonstrate what these do. So every time it changes from day to night, this little block here will change from orange to blue. And when that happens, it will spawn a block down here. and it will continue doing that until it is completely filled up the bottom row. The quarry spawns stone crates. The grove spawns log crates. The mine spawns these. And they're... If you've ever played a mobile game that has loot chests or some sort of thing that when you use it gives you a random thing, it basically works like that. So, really quickly, that one gave us 3 coal. The Tier 1 ore chest is also able to drop copper and tin. Nothing else. This building also spawns resources every sunset, but it spawns these. They look like emeralds. They're not emerald blocks. They only drop 1 emerald. That's kind of a useful thing when every single building that this mod adds costs emerald to build. So, now that we've kind of gone over how the resource buildings work, let's go over this little function here. Upgrading the outpost. This is an expensive project. It requires 162 cobblestone and 18 emeralds in total. When it happens, it kind of transforms the outpost. All the logs become stone brick, and it spawns 2 additional build paths. These ones don't build resource buildings, though. They're called small build paths, and you have 2 options at the moment for what to build. We're going to be covering both of them, because there are only 2. So first, this is the forge. And it's basically a fancy, really large crafting station for metal objects. Over here, we have the bakery, which is also a really fancy crafting station for bread. To kind of demonstrate how these work, first let's fill this up with hay bales, and let's set it to night. As you can see, there's another one of those blocks there that changes depending on the time of day. So, at sunset, one of the hay bales will transform into a bundle of bread. When you break it, it turns into 9 bread. It's that simple. Basically works like one of the resource production buildings, but it basically crafts stuff for you. This one isn't that hands-off. This one requires, among other things, it requires you to use wooden tools as kind of a pattern for making them into metal ones. So you put a wooden tool here, an iron ingot here, and then you click the button, and it consumes those and gives you an iron version of whatever tool you put in there. It works for every wooden tool in the vanilla game. Let's get a better look at the buildings here. And you'll notice that these 2 buildings have a different architecture style. They're, instead of having wood logs as the frame, they have the stone brick like the outpost building here, like the central building. If we go over here and right-click, we can see that we can actually upgrade this one. And when we do that, it will transform the architecture to match the other ones. So really quickly, let's see what we need for this one. We need a stone parcel, a log parcel, an emerald block, and an iron pickaxe. Following the pattern from the previous buildings, we're going to need the tools later on. And here's what the quarry looks like when it upgrades. If you don't clear this out before upgrading, you will lose everything that's already in there. That I learned that the hard way. It doesn't like leaving anything other that it basically deletes everything and replaces it. So yeah. To kind of demonstrate that, mostly full, we need a log crate, a stone parcel, an emerald block, and the iron axe we already have. And now it's empty. So you can kind of see that this one got a little taller. You could also see that this one had a little addition. Looks kind of like a little crane thing, maybe? But yeah. So they all change appearances as they upgrade. Moving on to the mine. The mine actually gets a lot more useful when you upgrade it. Because instead of being limited to only spawning... so, major visual difference, this gets a lot deeper. Instead of only spawning coal, copper, or tin, of which 2 of them are useless, it has a wide range of ores that it has a chance of giving you. Let's fill this up really quick, and I will demonstrate. These blocks here do not seem to have a harvest requirement, but just for reasons, So it's already given us iron and gold, in addition to copper. That's a weird little bug. Evidently, you might want to store your ores between uses, because it apparently likes to delete them periodically. That's not of the good. But yeah, so that's kind of how the Outpost mod works. It's potentially a fun little goal kind of thing, maybe? Like, set yourself a goal to get one of these to the set all completely upgraded and stuff. But yeah. Oh, forgot to mention something about upgrading the buildings. It doubles the amount you get from them when you upgrade it. So there is other, in addition to changing how they look, there's a very practical reason to invest the resources. Currently, these 2 buildings are not upgradable. You can see that that one over there doesn't, just opens that inventory here, and this one doesn't do anything when you right-click on it. But yeah, so that's the Outpost mod for Minecraft 1.12.2.